in the book of Psalms, and we're going to be praying these prayers.
Rises 1 year in
Used to do 6:33 in the morning, and that was the
AM.
yeah, 6:33 in the morning. When we decided to keep going and not stop, we moved to 7 a.m. and it just kind of was organic, kind of just grew. We built a family. You see, I put on that Elite 500 Club. Great afternoon. Great afternoon. It is always a pleasure to come into, whether it's your living room, your kitchen, you're in the car, or doesn't matter. But this is different for us because it's now morning glory in the afternoon. And I have the pleasure of having with me today, first time in the studio, all right? First time in the studio. First time for me having a guest live with me in the studio, Dr. Corey Montgomery, and he's our guest for the morning. And then a little later, we have another special guest that will come on. But for this morning, at this time, for this afternoon at this time, we have Dr. Corey Montgomery, and I'm going to let him just say good afternoon to the people. And then from that, we're going to chat it up a little bit, if that's okay with everybody. Go ahead, sir.
Good afternoon to our audience. And I just wanted to say that I'm excited to be here. And more importantly, I'm excited to be a part of what is going on with Morning Glory. I'm looking forward to us moving forward and going next level.
All right. All right. I guess I could say this is afternoon glory, but bless the Lord. It's always good. It's always good. I wanted to just bring those in that particularly has been around Morning Glory for a while, tuning in, enjoying the dialogues, the teachings, the things that we've been going over. And I wanted to ask a few questions and get from you, and then also to be able to share with our audience. But I wanted to ask, looking back over like these last 6 years, looking back over these years, has there been a topic or has there been a saying maybe that has stood out to you over this time that has maybe either impacted your life or impacted your frame of thinking or just changed you in any kind of way? And if that is, or if that has been something, can you share that with us and with our audience?
Absolutely. Actually, the two that resonate with me is the unbalanced expectations as well as relational currency. I consider myself to be a person that is a giver per se. And prior to the teachings on unbalanced expectations, many a times I would struggle with the fact that individuals weren't willing to give the same in terms of
Right.
reciprocity,
Right.
in terms of what I was willing to give. And that truly stressed me out. But to be openly honest, with the clarity in which that particular lesson was taught multiple times on unbalanced expectation, not only did it help me in my spiritual walk or in ministry, it also assisted me in my professional walk as well. And the other one is relational currency. I like to consider myself as a relational individual.
Right.
However, what that particular topic did for me, it helped me to refine it and to actually take it next level, because the enemy at one point had me thinking that no, you're just too nice. But then I came to understand, wait a minute, if we curtail this and we package it right, that relational currency can bring me more in life than actual jobs, titles, money, or individuals. So those two topics, relational currency as well as balance expectations, actually radically changed my life. Took it next level, and people's already said that I'm a reserved individual, but it made me even more reserved, that I can sit and I could actually just believe God in things and not be frazzled because people are not willing to give as I give in terms of outreach or in terms of input. Or also, I could understand that no, it's okay or what have you to be nice or what have you, and to be and give unconditional positive regard to my fellow man.
Wow, wow. That's good. That's good. It makes the heart glad, especially when you bring up relational currency. Uh, once that I learned that some years ago, but because I'm at this stage of life and because I don't have the financial resources to do these big ideas
Correct.
that I think I'm supposed to do.
Correct.
When I grasp that, Lord says it's not about, you don't have to be the king, just have the ear of the king. And he started teaching me about relationships.
Correct.
That even if I'm not the top, because I have relationship, that residue rolls down on you. So I try to tell people that in these days, it won't it what will be your currency, if it's not cash, you better get relationships, because relationships, and those relationships that are like currency, will get you into rooms you never thought nor imagined.
Amen.
And it won't be that you qualify, because you'll be unqualified, but God qualifies you. And He qualifies you through the relationships that you gain. And I never thought about that one, but that's one that has impacted my life. So let me ask you this. If there is something that maybe we can do a topic. I have a team of people, just a few people, and they always are looking at different topics to help me have material. Would there be anything that maybe we haven't touched on, or maybe something that you would like us a topic you would like us to address? It could be something biblical. One thing I love about Morning Glory, I may get on there talk about finances. Absolutely. I may get on there talk about what's going on in current events, and or it could be like, most of the time it's something biblical or spiritual. But I try to have enough diversity where I can talk about different things and be able to help people understand. But I guess in your case, is there something, how you said relational currency? Would there be something like that over this season 7 that we're entering into?
One of the things that, and I've had conversation with my wife concerning this, is that within the context of the church, you have a handful of individuals that are professional individuals. I think entertaining the critical question of how do you stay rooted and grounded in the things of God while being successful within your professional life. Many individuals think that you have to separate the two, but as I'm learning and I'm hearing getting increase in the word, not only from Morning Glory, but also from the Vision Center. I am learning, or what have you, that you can be prosperous in your professional life and still pursue the things of God. I'm learning how to prioritize. So, a topic surrounding how do I stay committed to the things of God while excelling within the professional realm as well.
Okay. All right. When you said that, you know what jumped at me? Many years ago, my wife, who is Bahamian, uh, kind of whatever in their own way of doing things, got a hold to Dr. Miles Monroe, and
He's a bad boy.
we met him. We had already met him, but she got a hold of him while he was here.
Correct.
And because she knew him, she gets a hold of him. So he said, meet me at the hotel, right? And I'm on the commission now, so I'm a commissioner. And said, meet me at the hotel. So we met him over at the hotel. And as we were sitting there talking, he asked me something that changed me in terms of, you were talking about professional and then your spiritual life, your professional. It asked me, are you a pastor that is a commissioner, or are you a commissioner that's a pastor? And he started breaking down the two to me. And from that point on, I had to, even though I was in government, even though I was a commissioner, I had to understand what's my fabric? Who am I?
Wow.
Who am I? What am I just doing? This I'm doing, but over here I'm being. This is who I am. This is what I've become. And I don't mean the title pastor. I just means now the lifestyle of it.
Correct.
And
Correct.
in that changed me. And I always looked at myself as now, whether it's a minister, a pastor, or a kingdom man, before I'm anything else. And I can take that into any profession, anything I'm doing, because I got to stay this. This is because who I become.
Wow.
So I'm becoming, boom, other things I'm just doing. So I took that in there. Now, I want to flip the script. Anything you want to ask me, anything you may want to say, feel free, and we'll be able to just give you the best answer we can.
Okay. One of the things that I question, because I see a lot of pull as it relates to you in terms of the grandkids, the kids, wife, as well as the church morning
Don't
glory.
say wife. See, wife will. She will argue that she don't do that. But anyway, go ahead.
So my thing is that how do you center yourself in terms of life balance?
Wow. I try to, and I'm saying try because I'm not perfect at this by a long shot, but I try to prioritize my priorities. Okay. And that was on the when we were talking about unbalanced or being balanced.
Correct.
I try to prioritize my priorities. And by that I mean it's all P's. I'm always in the lining things up like in type of alliteration here. But I am a person first. So in that person, that is why now my first priority is the person of Jesus Christ. That's my first priority.
Gotcha.
Then I am a partner.
Okay.
So I'm a partner with my wife, Jessica. Then I am a parent, a grandparent, and all that. That's next. Then I'm a pastor. Then I'm a public figure or whatever you want to call it. So that's how I try to line things up. So every day, I don't have it in front of me, but every day I try to organize things based upon those priorities. It doesn't always work now, but for the most part, I try to organize those things. As I've gotten older, I've gotten better. Because I used to have them out of order. Quick story. Years ago, I've been pastoring now 27 years, 28 years, coming up on 20. And in that, I when I first started, I got so involved in trying to get this right that my youngest son, a long time ago now, because he's now 30, at that time he was 7. He was either 6 or 7. It took one of the guys from my neighborhood to come find me and tell me I had to come and see my my youngest son perform, meaning he was running track and he was real fast.
Correct.
And they were having the Junior Olympics over at Transpower Park in Dade County, and he was doing so well, and he made finals, but I didn't see none of the races because I was doing church stuff. And I took one of my guys that's older than me, old school guy, come to me and said, Pastor, look, you need to come. And from that point on, I realized I'm out of balance here, man. I got to make sure I don't get so tied up trying to please people and whatever that I miss things like this, because you'll never get them back. And from that point on, I started making adjustments, and each year I've gotten better. I've gotten older too to understand you have to make these things priorities. So that would be my quick answer without thinking about it, but that would be how I would address that.
Exceptional response. The last question that I wanted to speak to is where are we headed as it relates to Morning Glory from a visionary standpoint?
Well, that's I'm sure you well, let me put it. I'm sure some other people might have given you that question, or they may be saying, that's the question. Well, let me just explain, because I thought I would stop a few years ago, right? Because this thing was birthed out of the pandemic.
Correct.
It was birthed out of them telling us we couldn't have more than 10 people in at one time when the pandemic was kind of at its height. And I said, well, we'll do it a little while turned into a year turned into 2. And then around 3, I said, this will be kind of my last, because it's very, you have to be engaged fully to keep that many. We've done over 1,500 episodes.
Correct.
But that also means all kind of day or night working on new material to be able to bring. So when you think of it from behind the scene, like as you see all my stuff scattered all over here, because it's organized chaos. I would love to go into more of an official podcast, and that's my goal. So we're trying to build an official studio where I can have my setup and all of that next door, and that's where we're started it. We got to keep it going. And once I go into that, but then it will be more than Morning Glory. It will be other things that I'm a finance guy. I love talking finance.
Correct.
So I would love to do some things in business or finance that is separate and apart from the inspirational part.
Correct.
That is in the mornings, but do some things with business and finance.
Correct.
I believe I believe us as a people have to solve this thing of how we mismanage our money.
I concur.
And it's to me, we don't have a money problem. We have a mismanagement of the money problem.
Correct.
And because we don't manage it well, we always end up with none. So for me, that's a burden. It's burning on in me now to do those type things. Not that I have the answer, but I know people that have answers, and I know people that are out there that can help with it. And then I want to make that connection, bring them from off of Wall Street down to the real street, and have them
Gotcha.
understand.
Wow.
So that's kind of where that is. And we'll see what the Lord says. I mean, it takes resources to do all of that. And once the resources uh, increase, I'll know that it's time for us to move, because we'll move with what we have in our hand.
Correct.
And then as he expands that, it opens up more of a bandwidth for us to go after. Yeah. So,
Good stuff. Good stuff.
yeah. Appreciate those questions, and thank you for them. I want to. We have a special guest that we're going to bring on, and she'll come on with us.
Okay.
So you can see how special you are. That I got a doctor and I got a judge. Lord have mercy, ain't God good? So at this moment, family, we're going to bring in our judge, our friend, and let her come in, and let's all welcome in. Let's see if I can do my technology right. Yeah, okay, there she is. Let's bring in Doctor. Oh, not you, the doctor. I'm bringing in Judge Holmes. So glad to see you, and so glad that you could be with us for a few minutes. I wanted you to come on because you blessed my heart about late last year with something, and I said, man, I didn't really think people really be listening in that way or carrying stuff that way. So I give you a chance to say a few things, and then I want to ask you a few questions.
All right. Well, good afternoon, Dr. Sanders and Dr. Montgomery. It's an honor and a privilege for me to be on. I've been listening, and I tune in when I can, when I'm not traveling or sleeping in. And I tell you, your ministry has been a blessing to me. The Morning
Oh,
Glory
bless
has
God.
been a real blessing to me. I can't get my pen and my paper fast enough. And I often remark at the end, at the close of I don't do a lot of talking in the chat because I'm taking notes.
Yeah,
Um,
I
and,
feel
and,
all right.
and I share my notes with those that I know it will be a blessing to and a help to. So I've been listening, and you're a great teacher. I mean, I don't want to take away from my pastor, Dr. Robert Stanley at
Oh,
Hopewell, but
no.
but
Gotta call him later today, too. Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
I'm just honored to be here, and you can fire away. You and Dr. Montgomery, I've been listening to you both, and listening to your answers to a lot of these questions, and I may have a few questions to ask you later too. But
Oh, sure,
rapid
sure.
fire, shoot away.
No. Well, my question to you is, uh, I brought up earlier that you contacted me about a certain Morning Glory episode that we did, and similar to what I asked Dr. Montgomery, but what what was it that stuck out, or what was it, if you can even remember that particular episode? But that's more the question. What was it? What that impacted you, and was it a line or just something? So it was your thing, so you explain it to it.
I hear a lot of good preaching, a lot of good messages. Then
Yeah.
certain things just get in your spirit, they resonate in your spirit. And that was a message or morning glory from 2022. And I remembered it, but I couldn't remember all of it. And
Right,
so that's
right.
why I contacted you late in the evening, and I apologize for the time, but I didn't
No,
want it to
no.
get away from me. But it was called The Promises in the Problems.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
The promises in the problems. And that was from 2022. And the reason I wanted it is because there were certain things that you said. When you're in politics, a friend of mine is in Nevada and he's running for governor of Nevada. And
okay.
I wanted him to hear, and I don't know why it is that when I catch you most of the times that the things that stick out, you're doing an expository on the letter P.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
The
yeah.
precepts, the promises.
I
You
just
you
say,
just you just finished something with about Thomas. And I
right.
caught that series. He went from doubt, pouting to
Yeah,
doubting to
pouting,
shouting.
pouting to
Yeah,
shouting.
yeah.
Yeah,
These
yeah.
things resonate with me. And Dr. Montgomery mentioned something about professionals. It's very difficult to get people in certain professions to listen, especially to preachers.
Abs-
And some of them
That's
think they're
right. That's
bootleg preachers anyway.
right. Right.
But if they would just listen and let what God has given you to permeate and get into their spirit, it will help them better. You know, Politics is a dangerous area to get into. Religion and politics normally don't mix, and we see that on a large scale now. But those of us who really mean what we say when we profess that we're Christians, we need somebody talking to us early in the morning, praying for us
Yeah,
early in the
yeah,
morning.
yeah,
The
yeah.
psalmist said, "Early in the morning will I seek you." I get up and like I said, it's like I'm in seminary. I'm taking notes,
Oh
and
man.
you alliterate and explain things very well, enough for folks that don't go to church need to just tune in. And I didn't get the morning glory session on the relational currency, but I'm certainly going to look that up because when you said you don't have money, and I always tell people, especially people that are running for office, they come to me and say, "Well, I don't have the money." You don't need the money. I always tell them you don't need money. You just need favor. And
Right.
that ties
That's right.
in with that relational
That ties
currency.
in, right?
You don't have the money, but God's got some people out there that have the money,
Have the money.
so
Right.
you can get. So, God blessed me in my 24 years on the bench here in Broward County. I never had to run a contested race. Nobody ever ran against me.
Wow. Wow.
But that was just the favor of God on my life. That was just,
That's right.
I stayed before Him. I fasted. Yes, I fasted. I prayed. I heard Pastor Jones once talk about the big guns. When you want God to do something, you bring out the big guns. And he spoke from I think the ninth chapter of Saint Mark, where it says, Jesus responded to his disciples and says, "This kind cometh not except by fasting
By
and
fast
praying."
and
Those are the
pray.
big guns. So, I
Yes.
listen. When pastors are teaching and preaching, and I love good preaching and I love good teaching. You need both. You can't just have
Right.
somebody, yeah, ha ha all the time. You need
Right.
somebody to stand
Right.
flat foot and tell you what you need to know. So yeah, it was the promises in the problems.
All right.
That
All right.
resonates with me
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
for every problem you have, there's a promise of God in that.
That's
Okay.
right.
All right. So
That's right.
I could go on and on, Pastor,
Yeah.
but you
Yeah.
blessed
That's
me.
all right.
I'm
Well,
a blessed
go ahead.
person.
Yeah. We go ahead. Ask your question, whatever that may be.
Well, God gives you the vision because you only wanted to do this for 8 days. And now here
Right.
we are at the 6th year. You've completed that and going into the 7th year. You got a book coming out, Next Level. And hopefully you'll talk about that. But what did you want your audience to be? And what did you want your impact to be when you started? And now that you've started and you're going to the next level, who's your audience and what's your impact? What's your stated impact? What do you want to do?
Wow. At the start, my my thinking was for audience was people we were not going to church, physical inside the building. So the thinking was, okay, if we're not going to church, let's provide something that was engaging, but also they could relate to. It's still like being at home. Still, you're at home, but it's still like being where you could feel the relationships. It's not, where you're dressed in a robe or you're dressed. It's just now you're coming to the people. And I said, well, whoever would be on, that we're going to spend more time now on our phones than ever before, because we're not, some people weren't even going to work. So they're not going to work. They're not going to church. So they're going to be on their phone. So that was the thinking. And it will be now to offset some of the other things that may be anti-God, that may be major distractions in other areas. I knew they would increase theirs. The commercialism would increase. So my thinking was to do something outside of that. So when we started with prayer, it's just getting people going and see who would connect with prayer. But you know how church goes, prayer and Bible study, they're not coming to that. They want to come to 11 o'clock and do the, hear the choir and all of that. So we said, okay, after prayer, let's just do lessons. Let's just do these lessons. And that's what we started doing there. Once that picked up, and once I started learning the advantages of social media, a lot of times people look at it in a negative way. I took the approach to look at it in a positive way. Look, let's take advantage of social media. Instead of looking at all the ills and the wrongs of it, let's look at what we could do positive with
Absolutely.
it. So I made a vow to use it as a platform, but not ever put anything negative, anything, that would cause, like, what is he doing? Or try to get, here's a better way to put it, or try to get clicks or try to get views. No, stay straight with just the words, stay straight with just positive things, and don't go to the left or to the right trying to entertain where people join. So that we did, and that caught on, and we developed like a little family. Now these people they're in different states, a few are in different countries, and they go to different churches. But in the morning, that's a time for all of us to just come together and be able. That's why I never changed the time, because I've been asked, why don't you change it, make it in the evening? And I've always said no, because I'm not trying to gain an audience just for people to see me. This is for serious inquiries only, and it's for people who will invest their morning to get up. That's it. I'm not, and whatever comes with that comes with it, but I'm not going to do something different to get it. Over the last few years, it's been thinking, what do I do? How can I make good better, and then go from better to best? And that's what we're working on now. I want to do a full studio and then reach different audiences, not so much with Morning Glory. Morning Glory will stay the way it is. But because over my last, say, 20 years, I've been blessed to meet people from different walks of life. And if I don't know them, going back to what I was telling him about relational currency, I know somebody that knows. Right. And then we're able now to get them, similar to where you see some of the podcasts, they bring on these guests. Cool. and they, but my thing is not to do it in that way, but to do it to be able to help community, help people. So that's where I think, not think, that's where I know we're going. We've already mapped out a plan, and I'm just now trusting God for all the resources that it'll take to bring it to full fruition. And that's where we are. Yeah. And that's even reaching the professionals. That is very, you know, a lot of time when you're making very good money, you don't feel you need no help. You don't need to listen to nobody. And, you know, until I was telling the church, I don't know if that was this Sunday or whatever Sunday, but it's nothing bring you to the Lord like trouble. And see, I don't care who you are, trouble is non-discriminatory. It's coming after you in one way, shape, or form. And it brings most of us to a point of need where we say, Lord, I need you and I gotta have you. And that's kind of definitely what God has put in me to do. You know, you mentioned Dr. Stanley. I've known Dr. Stanley for many years, but we've developed a real friendship over the last 5. I'm talking spend many hours talking and between me, him, and Jones. And with that, we always are shooting ideas of what we can do to get better. And not just in our individual churches, but what can we do to get better for the people that God would have us to do? And that's just thinking out the box. So I'm ready. I'm excited, and even though I've crossed, 65, I'm excited for what He has for me still yet to come.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah, I don't even know if I answered your question, but that's
You
kind of
you
where
you,
we
you
are.
did you gave the politician answer. No, but you gave me a lot to work with. And what one more quick question? What possessed you to just say I'm only going to do this for 8 days?
Well, going back, since I know you also have a minister tag, you know that 8 is a number of new beginnings. So I call myself, but that's the, yeah, I have to laugh at myself because I call myself saying I'm going to do it, but I'm put a number on it. And I've learned over there, stop doing that. Just let God dictate to you when you do stuff and when you stop.
That's it.
But the 8 days really was about uh, praying for the 8 days, 8 being new beginnings, and then saying after 8 days when we stop, we would have this because we were in the middle of COVID.
Correct.
And it was, everybody was looking at each other mad, and we would be praying, but those 8 days came and long gone now. We just kept going, and that was the thinking, though. The number 8 in biblical numerology was just the number 8, and that's kind of where that was.
Well, in biblical numerology, God is leading you to His number 7, the complete number. Yeah, but I don't even think this is the end. I think this is just the start. Especially if anything I can do to help, I'm certainly going to make it happen for you, because I want to thank you, along with the South Broward Ministerial Alliance, how you always give me, you listen to my voice at times, and I appreciate that. That means a lot. It's hard to, when men, see a woman and they want to listen to a woman, but I appreciate that you all are not gender biased, that you listen to me, and I appreciate that. So anything I can do as you help with the judges here in Broward County, especially the Black judges, and I think we have more now, Pastor, in this county than anywhere else in the state. There are 12
Wow.
Black judges, 3 Black magistrates, and then 3 of the retired judges, Zebedee Wright,
Right.
Mary Robinson, and myself. So I'm still going to be around. I left the bench, but I didn't leave the community. And I
No,
thank you for including me in this. I appreciate
oh,
that.
no, it's my pleasure, and would just wanted to have you come on. Even though I did tell people about it on Morning Glory the next day, I was saying, I had Judge Holmes call, so I was trying to tell them, see, y'all need to listen because we got other people listening and it could help you. So, but with that, again, we're grateful. I appreciate you taking the time out to join us and come on with us this day. We're doing this with a number of people, and but this one is our first live one that we're doing. So as I get better in technology and better at doing, my team gets me all prop. I'd like to bring you back and we do a lesson. See, like do a lesson where we do a lesson on something, maybe the paralysis, the promise inside the paralysis, and be able to do something like that, and we walk through a lesson together.
Yeah, I got another lesson that you like. You know what? People always get on lawyers because it was always the young lawyers that came to Jesus. And and so people have this
Okay,
thing about lawyers. I like to defend them. I was a prosecutor most of my career, but I'd like to defend a couple lawyers because I
all
am
right,
one.
all right, all right. So maybe
So
we'll look into that. I was
a-
asking Dr. Corey what some of the things we could do in season 7 that we haven't done before, and maybe this is it. Now that this seems to be, and maybe we can bring on and do topics such as that, and have our lesson for a day or two with others, that we could bring in. So I'm gonna put it to the team, and let's see, and then in the near future we'll be reaching back out.
it'll be a pleasure. Thank you. And
All
Dr.
right.
Montgomery, thank you.
All
Pleasure
right.
meeting
Have
with
a
Bless
you.
you.
great
Thank you for
God
joining
bless.
us. God
Thank
bless you.
you. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye bye. Yeah. So I am so glad that you came, man. And I was told that you insisted doing this live and insisted.
absolutely
So
absolutely
you challenged me to be able to take a step to do this like this, because I've never up until this point, we I think Minister Monique uh, kind of turned me on this, what we use, the platform we use
correct.
back 6 years ago, and we've been using it, but I never like did what we did with Judge Holmes, and I've never really had someone come in my studio, and sit with me. I like this. I like this, and maybe we'll do some studies like this where we bring in someone. You have yours, I have mine, and then we could use just to show you how all this. These are all my banners that you see me putting up in the mornings and all of that good stuff. I know Eve get mad at me because she said your time is up. Your time is up. But again, listen,
That's
thank
great.
all of you. Thank all of you that have joined us today. And if you didn't get a chance to see it, we want you to tune in later. All right. Stick through the whole thing, hear the whole interview, and God bless. And we'll see you again tonight at 7 p.m., where we'll have more special people joining us. God bless you and God keep you is our prayer.
Have a blessed day.